Start in Eastern Europe on the border of Belarus and Poland, where thousands of desperate migrants are trapped in freezing weather. The presence of troops from both sides has raised fears of a confrontation. The migrants, many of them from countries in the Middle East and Africa, are in search of better lives. Many of them are children.
We are from Iraq.
Iraq?
Yeah. We are from Iraq, and we want to go to Germany, to UK, for better life.
Better life?
Yeah.
And in Iraq is bad?
So bad. No money, no work, no food.
How many children?
Well, more than 500 children, easily, more than 500. I don't know exactly how many, but too much. So many of them, all families. You know, they got kids. Every family, they got 2-3 kids. So that's why we worry about the kids more than ourselves. We worry about if we run out the food and the water, and that will be a big problem. The kids will suffer too much.
The UN Children's Fund is deeply concerned about the dire situation. Also, the UN Refugee Agency are calling for an immediate and unhindered access to the group of people seeking help. Germany said they support new EU sanctions against Belarus. They accuse Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko of exploiting migrants by sending them to the Polish border. Lithuania's parliament declared a state of emergency that lasts a month at the country's border with Belarus. It allows border guards to use, quote, mental coercion and proportional physical violence to prevent migrants from entering the country. Linda Kennedy has more.
Prime Minister on the frontier. Poland's MATEUSZ MORAWIECKI visited his country's border with Belarus early on Tuesday to show support for the thousands of additional soldiers, police and border guards deployed there. The stability and security of the European Union is at stake, the Prime Minister said.
We know this is a fully planned operation which aims to disrupt the sovereignty of our country. That's absolutely clear to us. We know for sure that there is a search for weak spots happening on the border.
With refugees on one side of the Poland-Belarus border, facing off against Polish soldiers and police standing firm across the boundary, this clash of frontiers has worsened. Poland closed the official crossing at Kuźnica on Tuesday, as authorities accused Belarus of a coordinated attempt to massively enter its territory. Belarus wants shots and casualties, according to the Polish head of security. Other EU nations are alarmed. Lithuania, which also has a frontier with Belarus, is talking of a state of emergency in its border area. Thousands more refugees are making their way to join the 5,000 estimated to already be at the border. Charities describe conditions as distressing, with freezing temperatures and insufficient food and medical care. Humanitarian groups say Poland is violating the international right to asylum by pushing refugees back into Belarus instead of accepting their applications for protection. The current situation marks a significant escalation in the crisis. Since the start of 2021, more than 30,000 refugees have attempted to cross the Belarusian-Polish border. The EU blames Belarus for encouraging refugees from Africa and the Middle East to try to make the crossing into the EU. They call it hybrid warfare and say it's revenge for Western sanctions on President Alexander Lukashenko's government after his violent crackdowns in Belarus following a disputed election.
We are military people. We understand what it is like today to wage war with these unfortunate people on the border of Poland with Belarus and to put forward columns of tanks.
Why do we have a reason to believe that the sanctions are biting? Because Lukashenko regime starts to behave as a gangster regime, because it's hurting them and they don't know what else to do, so they try to undermine the European Union by attacking and launching a hybrid attack against the member states of the European Union.
Lukashenko's government has repeatedly denied manufacturing a migrant crisis, instead blaming the West for the crossing and the mistreatment of migrants. And with temperatures on the border set to fall over the next few days, the tensions are only predicted to get worse. Linda Kennedy, CGTN.
The Polish Prime Minister has accused Russia of being behind migrant attack, so-called attack really, located at Poland at the Belarusian border. The Prime Minister claimed the attack was aimed to destabilize the European Union. Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke to Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko over the standoff, with the Kremlin saying it was very carefully watching the situation. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov blamed the West, saying the politics of the Western countries has led to the influx of migrants.
I think that the solution to those problems is in fully respecting international humanitarian laws. We also shouldn't forget who is behind all of this: the politics of Western countries, including those in NATO and the EU, imposing their aspect of a better life onto the Middle East and Northern Africa, which is just a democracy the way that the Western perceives and have tried to force upon many others around the world. And when the West face any resistance, they resort to military force. So the main responsibility for solving the migrant crisis is on those who created the conditions for the crisis in the first place.